Welcome back, everyone. So, quite the tale. I know, actually, I'm sure at the time it was awful and maybe people were scared and angry and it was a bad thing, but I'm sure that this is one of those stories that everyone will look back on and maybe be able to have a little chuckle about. Yeah. I mean, even the perpetrator, I hope, will have the presence of mind to laugh at his former behavior. So it started off like this. They're down in Gyeongsang-namdo, and a 55-year-old man has had quite a lot to drink, which is fair enough, you know. I enjoy a drink, you know, once in a while. I might have a few too many. No big deal, until he gets into his car. And he drives, it's 2 a.m. I guess maybe he was so drunk he thought he was fine, you know, he's gone too far that way. He got caught by the police and his blood alcohol content was so high, it was enough to get his license completely revoked. He tried to argue with the police, I should be let off, you know, this is not fair, blah, blah, blah. But of course they didn't let him off. He got his punishment. Rather than going home to sober up and maybe reconsider his choices in life, he kept drinking and drinking and drinking. And, you know, last night turns into tomorrow and he's still drinking. And he decides to go and get a huge excavator and drive it towards the police station. And he's yelling and shouting that he's going to demolish the police station as retribution for the unfair punishment that he believed he had received. Luckily, I guess maybe this is the positive side of being extremely drunk, he wasn't actually able to get to the police station and start demolishing it before the police officers came out, managed to get into the vehicle, take control of it, get him out of there. So everyone was safe, nothing was actually demolished. But then he got arrested a second time for drink driving, and I think the crime was called obstruction of officers in the line of duty. I mean, I think he's very lucky that he didn't get done for criminal damage. Yeah. He didn't manage to damage anything, but that was clearly his intention. So maybe actually they were reasonably kind to him in terms of what they could have punished him or charged him with and what they did charge him with. But he still was then taken inside the jail and forced, I guess, to sober up in the jail cell, which hopefully will have led to him perhaps coming back into his full awareness and maybe calming down, hopefully, and thinking better of his actions. But still a rather silly event, you know. I'm sure sometimes we've seen men of a certain age perhaps have a little bit too much to drink and maybe cross the line a bit. Hopefully not too much. Luckily nobody got hurt in this one. So, yes, he'll just have to take his punishment.
Right.
So, anyway, let's discuss the police a little bit more.
Okay.
The article, I think the first line of the article was, the police often have a thankless job. So would you agree that the police have a thankless job?
Kind of, yeah. I think definitely the perception of police has, in America and across the world, has changed slightly. To be a bit more negative. I don't think their jobs were super thanked in the first place. I do know that people are thankful for the police, and they do thank the police if they work in their favor. But in general, yeah, I would say police is kind of being a police person, a firefighter, emergency technician, or what are they called?
EMT, ambulance driver.
Yeah, emergency medical technician, whatever. Anyways, those people, I think, often have quite thankless jobs.
Yes.
And that's not the only ones. Those are just 3 examples. There's many people out there, including teachers sometimes, that have thankless jobs.
Yeah, people focus only on the mistakes. They don't spend much time appreciating the job's well done. Yeah. And do you think it is ever acceptable to let somebody off the hook for drink driving, as the perpetrator was suggesting?
Not for him, especially. If I were to imagine any scenario where you would have to kind of do it, it'd be like you're in the countryside. There are no ambulances, no police, right? an emergency happens, like you're drinking at home, just watching Netflix, having fun, and someone just rings on your doorbell, you open up and they're just bleeding out. And you're like, we need to get you to the hospital now. And then you drive over there and then the police pull you over and you're like, I'm glad you pulled me over. He needs a ride to the hospital. I'm drunk, sorry. Then let him off.
I hadn't thought about that, but yes, I suppose more common in bigger nations like America that has places, homes like this in very remote areas.
But that would probably never happen. There's no excuse to drive drunk, no excuse to let someone off the hook for it, except that very imaginative scenario.
Yes, very specific set of very random and unlikely circumstances. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. Just get a cab.
Yeah.
It can't be that difficult.
No.
Anyway.
Okay.
Got to stay calm. This set of articles has all been about staying calm. I think that's the priority. So, you guys stay calm, partake in the vocabulary section, get to work on it, and come back and see us in the next one. Bye-bye.
Thankless.
Thankless.
Rubble.
Rubble.
Let off the hook.
Let off the hook.
Excavator.
Excavator.
Sober up.
Sober up.